On today's episode, we will be discussing a very popular book, The Battle Hymn of the Tiger Mother, and how this book opened our eyes. It's totally eye-opening.
It changed the parenting world for sure. Hi, everyone. Welcome to Talk to Us Today. So, Namita, I must tell you, I had been recommended this book, The Battle Hymn of the Tiger Mother, in 2012. And I had an 18-year-old baby at that time. This is published in 2011. And so I was one of those moms, who had no interest in reading any parenting book back then. I mean, I was living it. I'm like, okay, I'll get my information from I want a book to relax. Then last month, I was at my parents' home, and I think my sister-in-law's copy was lying there. And I picked it up, and I started reading it. I do remember some discussion around it, but I was like, oh, I don't need to say. And I wasn't expecting anything. But oh my God, what an eye-opener. And I've been dying to discuss this book with you and with all our wonderful viewers ever since I read it a couple of weeks ago. So The Battle Hymn of the Tiger Mother is a memoir written by Amy Chua, a law professor at Yale University. And this book describes Chua's approach to parenting, which she refers as tiger parenting, which is not a new term, but she's coined it and made it quite popular. And this style of parenting is characterized by high expectations, strict discipline, and an emphasis on academic and extracurricular achievements. So normally this type of parenting is associated with Asian parents like Chinese, Japanese, Indian, Pakistani, the ones who are pushing their kids to do better and better at school.
Yeah, Simrit. No news about this parenting. We grew up seeing this kind of. I would not deny that at all, because I myself have seen, or I would say experienced this kind of parenting as a child, but not to that extreme, of course, the way it has been mentioned in the book. But yes. So yeah, this Asian style parenting has always been a stereotype, as super strict, very disciplined, and extra emphasis on maths and science. But also pushes the kids to not only, achieve A+ grades, but also the child should be on top of all the activities, be it music or sports or debate, declamation or whatnot, and even painting.
Yeah.
So it's like we see these young prodigies of Chinese descent who are these amazing gymnasts or gifted pianists. This is not because of this, the parenting style.
Yeah. It's complete. I feel it's more parenting. I didn't grow up with the typical Asian household, like Asian parenting. My parents, for the time, were very forward. They were really concerned about our feelings and emotions. So I lived, I thought I had strict parents until I looked around and said, oh, I really don't. And they were not permissive, but they really cared about our feelings. But no meant no. They were still the authorities in the house. It's a very interesting mix. That's what we hope for our kids. Anyways. Yeah. But you're right about all these prodigies coming from this kind of parenting. So Amy Chua, the author of this book, is Chinese-born American mother, married to a Jewish man, and they have 2 daughters. And the memoir revolves around how she pushed both her daughters to excel in music. The older one in piano and the younger one in violin. Now, excelling in the arts and pushing your children to excel sounds really great. But the anecdotes which Amy shares in this book are hair-raising. And even for Indian parents like us, we're extremely uncomfortable going that extra couple of miles. I thought I was strict, but I read these anecdotes out to my 13-year-old son, who was so shocked and thought it was fiction. And he goes, I don't want you to try this kind of parenting. I actually do believe it.
Yeah, this is very surprising. I have grown up seeing, very strict parents, and their parenting style was stricter than what my parents used to have, and very no-nos and rules and dot at this time here and there. Oh no, you have to, even if I noticed now also, I've noticed that if the child got just A and not A+, the parent is just in the PTA, and parent is frowning. Oh, you did not get A+. What wrong did you do? And the child is like, Mom, I tried my best. He said, no, next time you have to get A+, no matter what. It's this kind of approach. You have to excel. You have to be good in this. Or why your arts marks are so low. And I was like, okay. So, so our kids think that we are strict, but for tiger parenting, the emotional, I would say emotional well-being and social skills are not important factors at all. We think, oh, you should socialize, the overall personality should be good, they should be confident,
Yeah,
their self-esteem should be good. And but yes, but in tiger parenting, nothing. You could just these are like, they don't even exist.
care about.
It is such a demanding and obsessive style of parenting. In fact, like
Right.
fitting in with their peers and socializing is more, or less frowned upon, isn't it? Like, you don't have to think about friends, forget about it. Focus on your academics, you
Yeah,
have to get grades.
right.
That is what is
Yeah.
important in life. That
You
kind
have
of,
plenty of time to make friends in the future. I mean, that's what.
exactly, yeah.
Yeah. So one of the impacts that this very controversial and highly popular memoir has, brought about is a cultural dialogue between the Western and Asian approaches to parenting, right?
Yeah.
And the cultural differences are very highlighted in this memoir. So Amy was so strict with her kids. Now I'm going to read some parts of it because I just can't resist either. So there's this place that, so page 101, she writes, happiness is not a concept I tend to dwell on. Chinese parenting does not address happiness. This has always worried me.
You make them what, robots?
I see the piano and violin and do on my daughter's fingertips. It doesn't bother her. And then, like, I mean, it's interesting because her tangent goes different. When I look around at all the Western families that fall apart, all the grown sons and daughters who can't stand to be around their parents or don't even talk to them, I have a hard time believing that Western parenting does a better job with happiness. It's amazing how many older Western parents I've met were shaking their heads sadly. And as a parent, you just can't win no matter what you do. So by contrast, Asian parents, the kids do take care of their kids, but maybe they've been trained to do the kids take care of the parents, but maybe they've been trained to do so. And she also justifies this behavior on page 52. Now, the reason she says that we do this is Chinese parents are not concerned about the kids' psyches. They assume strength, not fragility. And as a result, they behave very differently. So they're pushing for the strength of the child. They're pushing them, and as she mentions, to reach their full potential. And she says that you have to believe in your children, and pushing them this much should make them reach their potential. If you feel that your child doesn't have the potential, then step back. Because then if they don't achieve what their potential is, the parents are to blame. So she's
that's a very interesting point, and I can't argue on that much. But I do know that emotional and mental health, HAS, to be considered in this day and have to be considered, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Not caring about child self-esteem is dangerous. I would never ever think, ignore that, especially. And after all, home is where they are supposed to feel safe, secure, they can confide into their parents. And we will be the ones who give them the confidence to go out and conquer the world, not like pushing them down. Oh, you can't do anything, just leave it, or do it, or do or die sort of a situation. And in fact, the tiger parenting is strongly correlated to, I would say, internalization of problems like anxiety or depression these children have these days. And the mental health and the psychiatric problems may create psychological problems and make these children feel like failures. So, and it is also believed to be the reason, especially the highest number of suicide cases in children in South Korea.
So there's no doubt that this form of parenting is extreme and harsh. So this is so Amy would go on holidays, and Amy and Jen, her family, and it was always family, and they would only go to places where she had access to the pianos, to recital halls where her children would spend 2 hours a day still practicing. And there's this interesting thing on page 103 where there's a birthday dinner they go for. Okay,
I really
and Amy
put in these tags for
yes,
I love it.
it's on page 103. So her kids, both her daughters, and I think they were 7 and 4. So they give her handmade cards. And what do we do when we get handmade cards? We know the kids haven't done a job. We're like, oh, so sweet. So she said, she gives the card back to Lulu, the 4-year-old. I don't want this. I want a better one that you've put some thought and effort into. I have a special box where I keep all my cards from you. And Sophia, this one can't go in there. And the daughter's like, what? And the father is like sweating at this one. She turns the card around, pulls out a pen, and writes, happy birthday, Lulu Whoopee. What if I gave you this for your birthday? Would you like that? But I would never do that. No, I get you magicians and giant slides that cost me hundreds of dollars. I get you huge ice cream cakes shaped like penguins, and I spend half my salary on stupid sticker and eraser party favors that everyone just throws away. I work so hard to give you good birthdays. I deserve better than this. I reject this. And she throws the cards away. And I was like, oh my God, she's harsh. Then there's an instance, which was very, like the critics have really brought it up, where she calls her older daughter garbage in public, right? And she says, well, we used to be called garbage in Chinese language. It's like when we say like in Hindi, it's like gada hai. Like, you don't mean you're a dog, but I think it's just the language and the and once, but this is harsh. And and there are instances where she says, to the younger daughter, you're a disgrace to the family. But this younger daughter is the rebel. So she turns around and says, I know I'm a disgrace to the family. Now what? So like when the kids get back and then you're like, okay, she's okay with this. And then she practices, when she's teaching her, like when she's sitting with her daughters and she's a Yale law professor, she's been working throughout. But when she sits with the kids and they're doing their notes, they're doing their music, she knows everything too. She's learning it with them. So, I mean, you can't tell her of being unattended, which is what a harder problem is. She's there for them, but she's just how it is.
Yeah. So, Simrit, one of the interesting impact of this book is that once it was published, it became so hugely popular, and that even the term tiger parenting became most popular. And very in the Western society now. So that's really very interesting. And this book has met with both praise and criticism. And it undeniably played a role in shaping the conversation about parenting or cultural expectations and the pursuit of success. So obviously, most parents wish for their children to be successful, but pursuit of happiness and mental well-being is equally important for us, isn't it?
Yeah, for us. For us
if my child was a highly successful surgeon, but God forbid, unhappy or depressed, I wouldn't even consider that that success important. So, but
that's right.
There is no denying that most Asian parenting results in highly academically successful children, and most prodigies are a result of this style of parenting.
So that brings up another, important and actually one of the biggest arguments. Are Western parents closer, or parenting where is permissive and we care more about are those parents closer to their children than Asian parents are? Asian children always look out for their kids, but do they do it out of brainwashing? Is it a Stockholm syndrome? Are they taught, or the guilt gets too much? Because from a young age, they're taught guilt, disgrace, of course, that I'm not even going to discuss that the physical punishments I don't believe in, as hitting and stuff. But what I do agree with her that Asian cultures, we do respect our elders a lot more. And I do think that there's something to be said about that. I am Asian, we're Indian, and I love the fact that we live in these intergenerational families when it works. But dialogue is important, or is it okay? Like I don't know. I mean, like she said, that in Asian parents are taken care of. They have a close relationship. There's not a scheduled conversation there or on phone. There's no scheduled meeting with the parents. It happens more naturally. I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. And if you follow the trajectory of the author's daughters here in this book, Sophia and Lulu, they both attended Harvard and achieved academic success. But most critics said that Amy Chua's children would be scars for life. Yes. But in an interview with her younger daughter, if it was noted that she speaks fondly of her mother and complains on the contrary, her mother has completely let her be independent and doesn't even find time to message back sometimes.
So exactly, like this is a parent who has put down this memoir and said, this is what I did. I'm proud of it. She has never made any bones about it. And yet her daughter says, I'm really close. It's a different approach to parenting. Fascinating. I mean, I really, find it like amazing how this book has worked. But today's takeaway is that while the Tiger Mother's daughters have, like Amy's daughters, have achieved academic successes, it's essential to consider their individual resilience and adaptability. Some individuals may thrive under high pressure, demanding environments, while others may find such conditions extremely challenging. Also, as a parent, don't be unpredictable. If you're teaching them and that's when you're strict, then be that. And the child knows that. They know that when we walk out this room or we walk away from the situation, you're going to have the parent that is going to be normal with you and not so unpredictable. Please know your child and his or her nature and temperament before employing the tiger parenting method. Number 2, academic success is not the only measure of success. That's a really strong one for me. And number 3, push your children to reach their full potential, but try to follow a balanced approach. And I do recommend reading The Battle Hymn of the Tiger Mother. For this book's style of writing, I give it 5 stars. I loved it because it's so readable, even though it was cringy. Is that a word?
Okay, great. That's all on Talktus today, but we look forward to hearing from you all. If there's anything that you would like to share with us, please mention in the comment section, or you can email us at hello@talktoustoday.com. Please don't forget to hit the subscribe button and the bell icon. Yeah. Stay notified of our new videos every Friday at 6 p.m. Keep smiling.
Keep laughing. Keep talking.
Yeah.
Keep reading.
Talking.
Bye, guys. See you guys next Friday. Bye.